And we're live. What's up, Reds? Welcome to the Sunday Summary Talk Show on the road, man. It's dedication here, okay? The people want the show. I bring the people the show. I have taken over the Holiday Inn Express in North Carolina. I told Brian at the front desk, I said, listen, I need the boardroom. I need the conference room. I got the Sunday Summary. And he was
Listen
like,
up, Brian.
oh, the Sunday Summary. Say no more. He didn't say that, but it was pretty funny. But Steve,
Listen
what's
up,
going
pal.
on, man? What's good?
Brian, I need this room now.
Yeah,
I need this room right now.
that's what I told him.
Has it been wiped down for Vid 19er? Okay, cool. I'm taking this over. It'll be
honestly,
free again at 10.
It's just weird. I'm just in a corner because there's no tables. There's like this rolling cart that you would watch. Like, remember the TV was on the rolling cart in elementary school, middle school, where you would watch movies. Yeah. I have one of those.
You saw that coming in the classroom. It was a good day. It was an electrifying moment in the day.
It really was, man.
Shout out. And the overhead projector too.
The overhead projector. Well, the overhead projector
didn't signify
really
fun. No, but the lights were maybe going to go off a little bit, and you could chill. Put in a piece of gum in the dark.
That's true. That's true.
Whoever knows what else you weirdos do.
So, Steve, this is the agenda for today. Obviously, Konate. It's official, right? I haven't seen the official like pictures or anything, right? I don't think he's officially a player yet because the transfer window and all that. But according to all the reports, everything's done. We've actually reached an agreement with RB Leipzig to purchase his release clause or activate his release clause. I think it's 36 million euros, 35 million euros, something around there. And he's going to be a Liverpool player, man.
Oh, so, no, it's 100% official. Yes.
It's big. So we'll get into that. We're also talking about some other links as well. I know Jonathan IKone from Lille is linked with us as well. So we'll talk about that a little bit. And then additionally, bro, Chelsea won. I did not expect Chelsea to win the Champions League final, but thank God they did, bro. I am like, it's just amazing, honestly.
Yeah, I'm to be honest, like, I like Christian Pulisic.
Who doesn't?
For obvious reasons.
Who doesn't?
I just think he's so good, and he's American, so it's kind of cool. First American to
step foot on the field in a European final,
and then became a winner. One thing I do want to point out before we get into this is becoming a Champions League winner means more than it should to the players that don't play.
Yes.
Not to them, but like to their resume. Like there'll be a guy that plays 8 games for Chelsea, but like in an argument, someone will pull it up and be like, yeah, well, he's a Champions League winner.
Yeah, and then
like,
you look
okay, but he did nothing.
This guy sat on the bench, right? You see the third string goalkeeper yesterday. I can't even remember the bald goalkeeper for Chelsea.
Oh, Caballero, legend.
Okay, Caballero. What did he have? 3 appearances this year? Something like that? I don't know. I'm not a Chelsea fan. I'm just guessing. But Caballero is crying, like celebrating. You know what I mean?
That's not where I'm going with this. He deserves. He works just as hard as everybody else in the club.
Sure.
But what I'm saying is, he deserves to cry, celebrate it with his family, dance, sing, drink champagne, black out, jump off the building, whatever you want to do. But what bothers me is when I see, like, after the game, people now comparing, let's say, I don't know, Havertz, for example, saying that he is now better than Kevin De Bruyne or that he is now better than Bruno Fernandes. Those are the things that you'll start to see from these trolls on the internet because he simply is a Champions League winner, even though he was absolutely abysmal all year.
And the problem with that is that people take now something that is solid. It's cemented. Okay, this guy, you can look at his stat sheet, his resume, like you said, and look, he has a Champions League trophy. Therefore, I can make an argument and feel good about my argument, regardless if the argument is validated or not. But the fact that he can look at it and say, look, Havertz won the Champions League trophy. What has Kevin De Bruyne won? And people stand on that twig of a leg for an argument, and it's absolutely stupid. It's the worst argument I've ever heard. If you think Kai Havertz is in any way, shape, or form better than Kevin De Bruyne, you're smoking crack. You are.
Just one example that I thought of, and I haven't even seen that. It's just like you're gonna see stuff like that.
Yeah, Yeah, let's go over
It
to the
does
chat,
not.
man. I got to say good
Yeah.
morning to some people before we keep going. We got Shayna in the chat, Jurgen Klopp in the chat, Arnika Cash, what's going on? Downturn, what's going on? Oyveen, what's going on? Who else we got in here? Doug, what is going on, Doug? Yeah, and Javine and Red Goals as well. What's going on? Javine talking about Chelsea. Hats off to Chelsea. I thought City were playing the best football in Europe this season, but they got outplayed in the final, and that's all that matters. Steve, I just want to say one thing. And this has been all over social media, and it was the first thing I thought of when I looked at that Man City lineup. Why in God's name are you completely changing your formation? Talking about Pep Guardiola, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you not playing Rodri in that holding midfield role? You're playing Gundogan in the holding midfield role, okay? And why are you don't have a single striker on the field? Like Gabriel Jesus got subbed on, but you were playing, what, Mahrez and Sterling up front? Sure, Sterling's played center forward this season, but these guys aren't strikers. And you're going up against Chelsea. Why would you completely risk it all in the most important game of your season? Like, did Pep overthink that game, dude?
That's all there is to it. He completely overthought it. And I don't even think, like, the fact that there was no legitimate striker in there, that means nothing to me. That's not even the piece that I'm looking at, because if you look at a front,
Man City, it means nothing because they can score without a pure striker. I mean,
right? You got De Bruyne sitting behind a front three of Foden, Mahrez, and Sterling. Like, that's dangerous enough.
Yeah. Well, Foden was playing midfield yesterday. De Bruyne was. They were playing a weird formation.
Well, he moved Foden up top as a striker like 15 or 20 minutes in.
Okay.
Maybe give or take, because Chelsea was putting the pressure on and they weren't really creating much.
Sure.
The fact that Rodri and even Fernandinho, like a legend, a guy that's been around forever, he's played in massive games.
Can't stand him though.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, I get that, but like, he's the type of guy you want him, or like people say Rodri because like probably Rodri's better, but like Fernandinho is at least a force. He's at least going to bang some bodies around there in the midfield. And the fact that neither of them were in there, I think, was evident. And when you have Conte on the other side, that's providing that defensive midfield role and you know, putting in the hard yards.
Even
it
Jorginho
showed that
too.
they didn't have that. Yeah, exactly. Jorginho. Yeah. Jorginho is average. He is the definition of average. He is slow. He is a very good passer, but he's just going to do a shift for you. City was lacking that, and like it's Pep's fault. The players, whatever, but like that's Pep, and I don't know if he just had a mental lapse. I don't know if he was trying to shake things up and shock everybody with a lineup and still win to cement himself as this tactical mastermind. You know what I mean?
I know
almost
what you
like
mean, but
I'm gonna switch it up and get a little weird on you guys and still win. This is how good I am.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's
how that worked out for him. You know what I mean? Like,
well, that's exactly.
He got to the point where all you had to do, you have no legs to stand on, Pep. You needed to first off just win one with City. Okay. Yeah. What point were you trying to prove? You were like, it was just, he went about it the wrong way. But look, at the end of the day, Steve, I was rooting for Chelsea in this. I did not want to see Man City win. I would rather us be there, obviously. I wouldn't want either team to win, but I was rooting for Chelsea. And dude, to be honest with you, the fact that Chelsea won, I didn't think Chelsea was going to win whatsoever. Man City are the dominant team, but Chelsea really got in there, and I just feel like they proved, I don't know if they proved anything significant, but just thank God they won. It's huge.
Dude, it's like us against City in 2018 or 2018-19, when we beat them like 3 or 4 times in a row. That's what Chelsea just did to City. They've beaten them 3 times in the last 6 weeks.
It's just insane. And Thomas Tuchel has just turned that team around.
No, he really has. And I'm not a huge fan of his, but like, he's been in the Champions League final 2 years in a row. He deserves a little bit of credit. Like, I'll give it to him. Like, he's turned that team into a defending, like a very, very good defending side. They barely let up any goals. Like, in recent history, they're doing extremely well on like the defending front. But they own City. Everyone was saying City's going to win. Like, the odds are like City. Yeah. I'm like, have you guys been living under a rock for the last 6 weeks? Seriously.
Well, but
Chelsea owns Manchester City right now.
No, but I thought that. Like, I thought Man City were going to go into this. They just purely from a talent perspective, Man City are the better team, I feel like. And then Chelsea just completely, like, Man City were creating all the chances early. But then somehow Chelsea just got one back. And it's like, it's just great. That's awesome. It's good that they were able to do that. I'm just glad they got the W, bro.
Well, yeah, but I get what you're saying. But I didn't think that City was going to win. I didn't think it was lopsided at all. Like, Chelsea has their number right now. Tuchel is in Guardiola's head. It's plain as day. They can't beat him.
I know. I just look at it from a Champions League final is completely different. Like, I don't look at the past form for that. Like, Champions League final, you're going in, you're like, all right, who's the better team? Like, who's going to come out on top, right? And they said a stat the other day. It's like the first team to score over the last, I don't know, 10 Champions League final. I don't know what they said. Some stat.
Yeah, they like
first team to score wins, you know? So just one of those things. Very interesting. Let's go over to the chat and see what people are thinking right now. Blake asks, how do you think Lampard feels right now? Dude, when Lampard left, they were 9th in the league. Chelsea were 9th in the league, okay? They had all the talent. His wish list was granted. He got everyone he wanted, and he could not make it work, dude. I just really feel like Lampard is only at the level where he can control younger players. That's why Derby County did so well. He wasn't ready for Chelsea. I don't think
he'll come back. I was talking about this yesterday. He'll be back in the future. He just needs more time.
Exactly. Yes.
This is a perfect example as to why we shouldn't think about like rushing Steven Gerrard in. Like, let's keep Klopp for as long as we possibly can. Yep. And then even at that point, it might not be time for him. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying. This is a prime example.
Tarshish Asani, what's going on? JW Young in the chat, what's going on? Yeah, and so this is a good transition. Steve.
Dogs at TGI Fridays.
Yeah.
Crushing drinks and crushing apps.
Who do you think we bringing in this summer? All right, so let's talk about Konate, right? That's why everyone's here. Look, Ibrahima Konate, it's as good as done, right? Fabrizio Romano confirming it, right? It has been the story. And it's weird, though. It's like, I always expected Liverpool to keep their transfer things under wraps, but everyone who's come in recently, big profile names, so right? Like Thiago, there was a build up to that. Excuse me. But when you look at players like Jota, we didn't know until the day before. So Konate, there was obviously a break in there, but Konate's coming. Now, Steve, if we look at what kind of player Konate is, if you guys haven't, go check out my player profile I did on him. But more importantly, I watched a lot over this weekend. I watched a lot of highlight videos preparing for this show, okay? This guy, Ibrahima Konate, Steve, is phenomenal. He is very good, all right? He's athletic. He's fast as hell. And not only that, bro, but he looks like a combination of like Van Dijk, Matip, and Gomez all into one. And not only that, dude, he can dribble. Like, we think Matip can go forward and dribble, like create space. This guy, Konate, is good on the ball, Steve. Like, technically very good. He can distribute out from the back, which is exactly how he play. He can recover well, and he's smart in the box. You know how Van Dijk will get a shoulder into guys and push them over all the time? Like, if you go watch his highlight videos, no fouls are called. Like, he knows how to defend. Konate does the same thing. Gets a foot in at the right spot. We got a good one here. However, can this dude stay healthy? That's the question that everyone's asking, because we looked at his injury record, dude. He has been injured. I think he missed. I think he only played 14 games this season.
You and I looked at that?
No, I did. I mean, I've looked at it, but we can pull it up here. We can always pull up the injury history. All right. But it's just one of those things. And I want to hear.
Let's breeze through it quickly.
All right. Okay. You don't have it up, do you? I can pull it up.
I do, but it's. Am I going to share my screen? Like, I don't even have permissions to pin here, pal.
Oh my God. Steve, just talk.
Oh, I can share.
You can?
Yeah.
No, really? Oh, shoot. Yeah. This is groundbreaking.
Hold on.
Paul Greaves. Dude, I haven't seen Paul Greaves in a long time. Paul, what's going on, man?
Paul's in the building. What's up, Paul?
Hussein Khalif. Haven't seen Hussein Khalif in a while. What's going on, Hussein? And while you're looking for that, Steve, I'll read off some comments here. We got JW Young saying Konate may go to the Olympics, so he most likely will not start the first few games due to him missing most of preseason yet. And another thing, dude, I feel like he plays for the U21s for France. So those Euros start soon, don't they? I don't know if they're at the same time. I don't follow international football like at all, really, unless it's the World Cup. The World Cup I pay attention to. One more comment, Steve, and then we'll get into his injury history for everyone. Abdul, what's up? I'm really looking forward to seeing Konate in action. I'm not worried about his injury. Liverpool would have looked deep into that before signing him, especially after this season. I agree with that.
Can you
And
all see this now?
Look at me. Look at Steve, man. What a legend. Sharing his screen. So he can't pin, but he can share his screen.
This is something I do on a regular basis throughout the
All
week,
right.
Kyle. So sharing the screen is no.
Let's zoom in on this.
This isn't new to me, pal.
Okay, pal.
You want me to do a little zoom?
I want you to zoom that bad boy in. Let's look at it.
Better?
Yeah, so this is what I was looking at. So this is the one I was looking at before. If you look down in the middle, that 1920, torn muscle fiber, 225 days, Steve. He missed 27 matches, okay?
Yeah, but where is that? What muscle fiber?
Well, let me get to this for a second. It does not take 225 days to rehab a torn muscle. So my question is, he must have re-aggravated it, like over and over and over again.
Or it was different ones. I mean,
I guess.
I can't click into them. It doesn't seem like.
Yeah, there's no other detail there. But his most recent one, okay, so you look at this season, okay? He had that torn muscle fiber in July of last season in the summer. He was out 96 days. He missed 6 games. Came back on October 6th, okay, and was playing what does that say, 9 days? So he played, or he was out 9 days for a fitness reason. Then he played up through December 17th. Then he was out for another 49 days, okay? This is ankle injury. This is fitness. So these aren't injuries that make me look like, okay, he's got a chronic injury problem. It's not like Keita's rap sheet. You look at Naby Keita's rap sheet, it's like 3 pages long. This one at least is only half a page. So I'm just saying, what are you thinking looking at this, Steve?
I mean, I don't know what this torn muscle fiber is. Let us know in the chat what this actually is.
Yeah, and
be like tore his pec or like something in his shoulder, like that's fine. Like if he torn muscle fiber, like what does that even mean?
And not only that, but he torn muscle fiber, torn muscle fiber, torn muscle fiber. This one, he was out 0 days. Oh, wait, no, that's a knock. I was reading the wrong lane. So this, 225 days. But then he tore another one, and it says 14 days, Steve. It's like, this is what I don't understand. I need to actually go back and, like, read the articles and, like, the reports. This is just a general overview. But let us know what you guys think in the chat. First off, and if you're new to the show, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, man. We're trying to grow, and we're doing great. Casey, what's going on? But, Steve, are you worried about bringing in another injury-prone center back? Personally, I'm not. I feel like we wouldn't spend the money on someone who's injury-prone. They know more than I do. But, that's gotta be worrisome, at least somewhat, right?
Not worried.
Not worried at all? What?
Not worried.
What? So spread your confidence around with us, bro. Why are you not worried?
Because he's not going to play. He's not going to start.
Well, he's not going to start at first, right? But this guy, I'm telling you, man, this guy is freaking talented.
Yeah, well, he's not better than Joe Gomez. I don't care.
I didn't say that.
Joe Gomez is, when he's healthy, he's the second best center back in the league.
Yeah.
Well, before this season, with the emergence of like Diaz, like he's a great player.
Look, everyone knows what boat I'm in, dude. Joel Matip, when 100% healthy, is better than Joe Gomez, but it's a very fine margin. I would rather have Joel. If they're both healthy, I'm starting Joel Matip next to Van Dijk. But continue.
Yeah, no, look, we're gonna rotate.
Yep,
that's the thing. I don't think center back's a position to rotate at. So I think something's going to happen with Matip now, because Gomez isn't going anywhere. His potential is unreal. Like his ceiling is.
Yeah, we're not selling Joe Gomez. One thing I did see is that, which is stupid. I want to keep him, but Nat Phillips. Apparently, the team are open to selling him in the summer. And I don't want to sell him, but I also think that when these players are healthy, Nat Phillips will not see the field. And after the performance he put in this season, to play devil's advocate, he deserves to start, regardless of what level that is. But this man is good, and I feel like he deserves a spot, either in the rotation or sell him on, let him play for another club.
Yeah. One or the other.
Yeah.
I just can't justify him playing over Gomez or Matip or.
No, I don't think
I
anyone
don't know
can.
about Konate, maybe, but
Yeah, it'll be tough.
We're going to play a lot of matches next year, though. Like, it's going to be
yeah.
okay to rotate.
Yes, and he rotates. That's the thing. He does rotate. But with the injuries this season, once we started playing in the Carabao Cup and whatever, Fabinho and Reece Williams were playing, like, because of the injuries. Like, at center back.
That's the thing. Yeah. And, like, if you're in the league, like, I don't think that's the time to rotate.
No.
Like, if Gomez and Van Dijk and we're winning and we're on, like, a 6-game win streak, you don't break that partnership.
No.
But there's obviously all the cups. There's the Champions League group stages against some of the weaker sides. You know, preseason's going to iron a lot of this out, I think. Because I don't think Klopp knows exactly what to do. Because he's got weapons now. He
has options now.
He's got so many people coming back.
And I love it. I absolutely love it. And J.W. Young brings up this fact here. Konate, I believe, is better in the air than Gomez. That is a fact. Konate is way better in the air than Gomez. But to be fair, Gomez isn't that great in the air to begin with. Gomez is good on the...
It's necessarily hard to do.
No, but he's just not good in the air. Like, compared to our other center backs, like Matip, Van Dijk, you know, Nat Phillips, obviously, right? But I mean, even Kabak wasn't that great in the air. But I mean, to be fair, he really wasn't here that long. But Gomez isn't that great in the air. But it doesn't matter when you're playing with Van Dijk or Matip. Like, I personally believe you couldn't put Gomez and Reece Williams together at the back just because you have no aerial presence. But now they have Konate there. If you did want to rotate, like you were saying, Steve, you could put Gomez and Konate back there or something like that. Just something to think about. Going over to the Nat Phillips point, Hussein saying Nat selling him on is not a bad idea, but can he keep up with the performance required? Okay, I see what you're saying. I don't even think it's a question of performance. I just think
that?
What?
What's the question? Can he keep up?
So if we keep him, if we don't sell him, will he be able to keep up performances to even get a thought from Klopp to play, basically? With the players that
didn't put a foot wrong all year. Yeah.
That's my point. Like,
yes.
But the question is, it's like there's still contractual obligations for players to play. Like, the injuries, yes, makes sense. These players are injured, so you obviously got to play Nat Phillips, Reece Williams. If everyone's healthy, you're not going to rotate those guys over whoever we have in the squad. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just
I get that, but I'm saying, is he able to put in the performance required? Like, yes. And people need to stop doubting that man. Yeah, because he has proved everyone wrong. Even the people who were on the Kabak side of the fence.
Yeah.
Speaking of
which, reports suggesting because of the Konate deal, we're most likely going to decline the option to bring in Kabak, right? And that's the benefit of having the option to buy. So shout out to Michael Edwards for that. Steve, I just want real quick. I just want to get your thoughts really quick. For me, thank you, Kabak. Appreciate it, bro. People who want to keep Kabak because of his potential, I get it. I understand. But it's not. I really don't feel like we're missing out on something huge by letting him leave, especially because we're bringing in a player of similar caliber, if not better, with a similar age. I personally am not going to lose any sleep over it, but I do appreciate him coming in. What are your thoughts on it, Steve?
I think this was good. I think he was awful in the beginning, and then he got it together. Took him a while to get, he got thrown into the fire. He was playing for literally the worst team in Europe's top 5 leagues. And he got thrown into the fire here, and he was young. And he didn't do well at first, and then he kind of turned it around, and look, we reached our goal. Which was, once we couldn't win the league anymore, it was to finish in the top 4.
Yes.
And we reached our goal, and he was part of that. So hats off to him. And I think this was really good for him now because he's got other clubs that want to sign him. So if we don't keep him, which it's not confirmed yet, this is just a rumor. If we don't actually exercise the option to buy, there's going to be other teams that want him. He's not going to be stuck at Schalke forever. So it's good for him. It was a win-win. But yeah, like personally, I don't want him.
Yeah, and like I said, it's not. I would love to have the options, but the last thing I want, I'm actually thinking about this. The last thing I want is to have a quality, potential-wise player and just have him sitting on the bench and warming the bench. Like, Kabak, reports are saying RB Leipzig actually want to go in and get him once we send him back to Schalke, which is great because didn't Schalke get relegated?
They must have.
They must have. I really don't know. Like, I don't follow the Bundesliga enough to know, but I feel like they did.
I don't follow it.
Maybe they didn't. I don't know. Maybe they just lost 40 straight games. I really don't know. But Schalke.
No, they won something. Where is it? But
with Leipzig losing Upamecano and Konate, right? Like, who do they Mukiele? Like, I mean, who else do they have at center? I couldn't even name. So Kabak would be a good transition over there. But real quick before we move on, what's up? My dad's in the chat as well. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. Just to celebrate Konate. Give the video a thumbs up, and of course, comment your thoughts. Best thing you do is comment your thoughts. Now, I saw a comment in here I wanted to make a note of. Someone saying that has Gomez ever scored a goal for us? It's actually a good question. I think he has. It's a really good question. Someone was saying something about someone is slow, and I think they were talking about Konate. Konate is not slow whatsoever. Just to comment on that. Nadir, we need a deadly striker and winger because Salamane will go January, February with the Africans Cup, and we need central midfielder. Let's move in. This is a good transition then. Jonathan IKone from Lille. Okay, we are linked with this guy, 23 years old. I don't know too much about him. French player, and Lille just won the league. So, Steve, if we've been linked with so many of these young forwards, Daniel Malin, right? You got this guy IKone, Ismail Assar. Literally, who the hell are we bringing in? Like, we obviously have to bring in people for the front three. We have to. Like, but I feel like Liverpool are so stingy with who they bring in the front three. You know what I mean? Like, they don't just take anyone. Like, they scout for years to make sure they get the right player.
I kind of agree with that. I kind of don't. But before we move on to that, I did look into Schalke. Goal differential for Schalke this season, -61. In 34 games, -61.
That's bad.
They won 3 matches out of 34. They lost 24. They drew 7. They finished with 16 points.
Ooh.
16 points.
That's really bad.
The team above them, the second to worst team, Werder, is that your Werder Bremen, I guess?
Oh, yeah.
31 points. Double what they had.
That's
a really bad year for them. Really bad year for Schalke.
Milo Rashica, that we've been linked with him for years. Another like striker left wing guy, plays for Werder Bremen, pretty sure. I feel like Klopp just has a certain style of player he likes in that front line. And I've said this before. I've said this before, Steve. Like, they're short, fast, quick, low to the ground players. Milo Rashica fits that. Like Dries Mertens, Leroy Insigne, right? Like, he doesn't like big players. That's why
you're right.
He set
right. I mean, Minamino.
Minamino, exactly.
Shaqiri.
Perfect. These are great. Like, these are the type of forward he likes.
Harvey Elliott.
Who
Let's not even open up that can of worms.
Oh, Harvey Elliott.
That's for another day.
Absolutely love that guy. Absolutely love that guy. But in the IKone deal, at least from what's being linked, this hasn't been reported by any credible sources yet. This is from, I think, like Team Talk or something like that. But Jonathan IKone, if we get him, Shaqiri might go the other way. At least that's what I'm saying, just to kind of bring down the price of the deal. I really don't know too much about this guy. This is just something I've kind of been following throughout the week. Like, that's the link. We're linked with IKone. We definitely need another forward because Divock Origi has been getting shopped for 2 seasons now. And there's been no buyers. And he's going to be gone this summer. He has to be. Like, he's got to go. It's like, what are we keeping him around for? He hasn't done anything. He doesn't get enough playing time to do anything.
No, he's got to go. I want to see Suarez come in.
Really?
That's what I want.
I just can't. I mean, I get why. Like, Suarez is great, but I don't know. Did
No,
he
I
always
don't
sign?
see it happening, but that's who I want, and he'll score goals. I don't
Yeah,
care how old he is. He'll
he'll
give you
score
12
goals.
goals off the bench in a
Yeah,
Premier League season, and he'll give you a handful in the Champions League. He'll give you 20 goals in all comps.
yeah. I mean, I guess if you want to bring in Suarez, I don't really particularly want to bring an older striker in. Like, I don't know. I like buying. I'm a buy young guys. That's me. That's who I want. Like, I want to see young forwards coming in. You know what I mean?
No, I want to win the league.
I know you do, and I think everyone does.
Well,
People
a
are
young
talking
guy's
about.
not going to help us. A young guy's not going to give us a trophy.
Well, very valid point. Very valid point. But don't you think we have enough experience in the squad already, Steve? We don't need to go out and buy a 34-year-old striker just to secure the league. I mean,
we need goals.
we do need goals.
Who's going to give you more goals than Suarez for that price?
Well, what's his price? Like, what was the contract that he signed at Madrid? Was it just a 1-year contract?
I don't know, but
I mean, he
it's
can't
probably not. Let's look it up.
You look it up because we do have a super chat coming in from Bargov Ready. Thank you very much for the super chat. We appreciate all the donations to the channel, guys. It only goes back into the channel to make better content for you guys. And so let's read this off. Can we go in for Rafinha or Neves? Yeah, that's good. That's a good question.
Neves from Wolves.
Yeah, Neves. He's a midfielder. More of a CDM actually, kind of. But we were
5.5 million.
Who,
$7 million.
What, for Suarez?
Suarez went for 7 million. Yeah.
Okay, I'd bring in Suarez
For
for 7
Atletico
million.
Madrid.
I'd bring in him for 7 million. But Steve, Rafinha, man, we've been linked with Rafinha. I don't see the hype about Rafinha, bro. Is it just me?
I mean, he's solid, but
Am I not watching the right game? Like, I don't know. But anyways, thank you very much for the super chat. Appreciate it. Paul Greaves input on Suarez, saying Suarez could come off the bench and score 2 or 3 goals easy, and he's hungry. Look, I love the passion Suarez has. He clearly loves the club. That's not the question. I just feel like it's an integrity thing for me, dude. It's like the same thing as bringing Coutinho back. It's like, I don't know. Like, maybe I'm just being too stubborn about it. Like, if Suarez comes out and is like wants to come back to the club, sure, let him come back, dude. I mean,
it's not the same as Coutinho.
It's not the same, but I'm just making a comparison.
I mean, dude, he left 7 years ago.
I get it.
It's been a long time. And he's only under contract until June of next year. So he's got 1 year left on his deal. Atletico has the incentive to sell.
Yeah.
Because he's going to leave on a free next year anyways.
They have the incentive to sell. They won the league. Right? They won the league, right? So people
are going to want to go there.
Yeah, and I feel like they do have the leverage there. So Tony signed a 2-year deal. Mohamed, next season is going to be good to watch. Which team's getting better? If we don't recruit, then we'll be done. As simple as that. With owners like FSG, you're in for a dry summer. And look, I'm gonna combat that before I get into Oyvind's. I hope I'm saying that right. Like I can't pronounce. I'm sorry. I just apologize if I'm butchering it. Fabrizio Romano did tweet out, and I hopefully I'm not getting trolled because it was a screenshot. It wasn't the actual tweet, saying that Liverpool are not done buying players this summer. We 100% need to invest in the squad, Steve. And I'm not.
Who said that?
This was a screenshot of Fabrizio Romano saying that Liverpool aren't done investing in the squad this summer. Now, like I said, I haven't gone to his Twitter and seen it, but what I'm saying is we need to invest in the squad. I am not saying by any means that FSG have been stingy or they don't like to buy players. We buy the right players, okay? But we do need to invest in the squad, I think, a little bit, Steve.
Mm-hmm. I don't think it's going to be a big spending summer. I think you're going to see some people go.
Yeah.
And they're going to go for dirt cheap. Origi's not worth anything anymore. Neither is Shaqiri. Minamino, he's not worth anything either. Like, you're talking about 10 million for these guys. Like,
yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, you could probably get a little more maybe for Minamino. I don't know. I mean,
Grujic, 15 million.
Well, that's the thing though. Grujic, that's a freaking steal. Like Grujic, that's the weirdest thing, dude. Grujic was Klopp's first buy. He's been here for 5 seasons and hasn't even sniffed the pitch. Like he's been on loan every year. But Oyvind saying, I kind of want Phil back. Listen, I appreciate the super chat. I just can't agree with that. That's great. You're more than welcome to obviously entitled to your opinion. I know what he did, but he was great. He was great for us, though.
Yeah,
he was great.
I mean,
but I'm not talking about Phil, though. To be fair.
Yeah, no. This was just about Suarez.
Yeah.
Suarez makes so much sense. He's a hungry goal scorer. That's exactly what we need. People, I hear like Harry Kane's name getting linked. We're not spending 80 to 120 million for Harry Kane.
Harry Kane's not going anywhere near Liverpool. I can promise you that.
I mean, dude, he's going to end up at United or City. That's it. Because he's not going to go to Arsenal. And I don't think he's going to go to Chelsea.
Look,
he's going to go at one of the Manchester clubs. That's the only place I can see it happening.
Dude, to me, he seems like a Man United guy. He seems like a Man United guy. I would have more respect for him if he went to Man United compared to Man City. That's just me, though. That's just me. I feel like he's a Man United guy. But look, let's not get off topic there. But yeah, so we're looking at players who are going to be sold this summer. You got Grujic just going out the door. Divock Origi, right? You're probably looking at Shaqiri, trying to get Shaqiri sold as well. And you look at players like Harry Wilson, players like that. I feel like Harvey Elliott will be somewhat in the rotation next season. But if you add all that up, maximum, Grujic, 15 mil, right? Maybe finessed a little more, but I think 15. Divock Origi, about the same, right? I don't think you can get any more for Divock Origi. And then Shaqiri, maybe about the same. So, I mean, what are you looking at? 45 mil plus whoever else we sell. So let's
just say they average 12 million.
Okay,
you're looking at 48 to let's just say 50 million for those four.
50 million for those four, okay? Release clause met for Konate, so we have 14 mil to spend, but we cannot forget about the influx of cash we have coming in from the Redbird Capital investment. So we do have some liquidity in the club to spend. So I think something to think about. The thing is the right player. There's so many good attackers. Like there's good attackers, but the right attackers, Steve. Who would you want to see come in that front line?
Suarez.
I know Suarez, but Jesus, man, give me some wing players.
He's free. He's practically free. All right, wingers.
Yeah, you're stuck on Suarez. Give me some other people, bro. Dude, before we get into that, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel, Reds. We got 87 people in here. It's a very good amount of people. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video. We love having all y'all here. Go ahead, Steve.
I don't know about wingers, man.
We're just
wingers. There's so many wingers. Like, I don't want Sar.
Yeah, no.
I don't want. I mean, Rafinha. I don't know, dude.
We're probably looking for players that can come in and do a job behind Salah and Mane, because no one's coming in and starting over these guys. I don't care how bad of a season Mane had. No one's starting over him.
No, unless it's like Jota for rotation. Like, Jota can play anywhere up there. Like, he's unreal.
And so can Mane, right? And Salah can play center forward, but he doesn't really. He plays out wide. But that's the thing. Minamino can also play across the front. The skill, that's the question.
You know who I like?
Tell me.
I didn't for a while, but I've gained a lot of respect for is Saint Maximin from Newcastle.
I agree. Arnica Cash, no. I don't. There's no Holland for 60 mil.
First of all, he's going to cost twice that at least, and he's also demanding 650,000 per week, so he can go pound tar. Go pound tar, pal. You're not going to score 30 goals in the Premier League.
Hey, well, Steve, who knows? That might be a very, very cold take in the future.
No.
Speaking of future.
Same goes for Lewandowski. No.
Lewandowski's still kicking
Scoring 40 goals in the Bundesliga.
Legend. He's good in the Bundesliga. Yeah.
How many goals did he have?
I know, dude. He's still knocking them in. It's like 30.
You're going to get half of that here. Half.
Who knows? Look, Vargov ready with another super chat. Appreciate it. Asking about Keita's future. Look, man. Everyone in this chat right now, well, I would hope so, wants Keita to succeed at this club. But you can't succeed when you're injured all the freaking time. And this guy will get back on the pitch, play 90 minutes, and we don't see him again for a couple months. It's honestly sad. I don't think there's ever been a player, except for maybe the last player I can remember this was maybe Sturridge, that would come back on the field and then immediately get injured. It's a chronic problem for Keita. I love Keita. I think when he plays, he's good. but we haven't seen enough of him to where we're like, oh man, we got to play Keita next season. He's been linked with Leicester. I don't think Keita is going anywhere. There's no way Klopp just sells Keita. Unless someone comes in with an astronomical offer, Keita's not going anywhere, Steve.
See ya. I'd get rid of him.
I know you don't like Keita.
No, it's not that I don't like him. He's just a waste, Kyle. And if he happens again, like every day, every time he gets hurt, his price goes down.
That's
if you could sell him for 30 million right now, you got to wipe your hands clean of that problem. That's all it is a problem. And you're paying probably extra people on the physio staff to take care of him. Trim that off. Trim that salary down too.
Give me one more year to see if Keita's actually chronically injured. Give me one more year, and then I'll come to a conclusion on him. You know what I mean? That's just me.
Whatever. Keep him, sell him. I don't care. He's not going to play much. That's the problem. What about, I mean, how's he going to play now? He can't stay fit, and we have 3 midfielders that deserve to start every single game.
Right, but
Thiago, Fabinho, Hendo.
Klopp rotates the midfield more than any other place on the field. We know this. Klopp rotates the midfield all the time. Okay,
and you still got Milner too.
We still have Milner.
He deserves to play over Keita. He does more going forward than Keita too these days.
Not saying he doesn't. Not saying he doesn't. But there was a point in time, and everyone remembers this. And yes, I honestly agree with you about the Saint Maximin thing. He's quality. He really is good. But another thing I wanted to say: think back to when there was a point in time. Everyone remembers this. Our best midfield was Fabinho, Wijnaldum, and Keita. Everyone was shouting for that midfield. We would see it, and everyone was like, this midfield is unstoppable. Wijnaldum interchangeable with Henderson. Okay? Mm-hmm. Everyone was like, this midfield is great because it gives you all elements. It gives you that technical ability going forward with Keita, workhorse box-to-box with either Henderson or Wijnaldum, and then just a solid holding guy with Fabinho. That was our best midfield for like 3-4 months.
In 2018?
I think it was 2018. I really do. But it was just so good. It worked so well. And what I think people forget about is that when Keita's playing and he's in a rhythm, he's in our best midfield. We still had every player we have now with the exception of Thiago. That's another thing we got to think about. He finished off the season phenomenally. You know what I mean? Like, he really showed his quality at the end of the season. What are we going to do next season, man? I feel like it's going to be Fabinho, Thiago, and Hendo, right? Mm-hmm. It's got to be it every week.
Yeah, and you'll see Milner get in there.
Yeah, and Curtis Jones as well.
Curtis Jones. I think Naby's looking at he's number 7 on that list. Number 6 or 7 on that list.
He has certainly fallen down the list.
Not to mention whoever they bring in.
Mm-hmm.
Or whoever comes back from loan or whatever.
Yeah, agree.
We just need to make some money. Like, these guys that we're going to sell aren't worth anything. Keita's actually at least worth something.
I mean, I guess.
He's at least worth 25.
But Steve, you're taking a 50% loss on that if you sell him for that.
I mean, this is as good as it's going to get, Kyle.
His
career's not going to turn around. No one in their right mind could predict that. Everything is pointing towards him getting hurt every single time he plays.
Yeah, I get it. Nalog's here. By the way, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Good Lord. I took over a Holiday Inn hotel for this show for you guys. Okay?
Jeez.
Yes,
he did. Let's get this guy a trophy.
I completely ran it. I told Brian at the front desk, I said, listen, I need a room.
Brian, I need you to shut down this whole hotel.
I shut it down.
Shut it down.
Seriously. But anyways.
Sancho. That's got put in the chat. Rafinha.
Here we go. Bargov, thanks again for the super chat. Appreciate it. Can we replace Keita with Milinkovic-Savic from Lazio anyway? They're eliminated from Champions League. Milinkovic-Savic, man, I feel like he was linked with Man United for a long time and then just never went anywhere. What happened to him? He's not the player he used to be, I guess. Like, the hype is not surrounding him. I don't know enough about him to comment on this to replace Keita.
We don't need to replace Keita.
We don't need to replace him. That's a thing. But we've also been linked with Tielemans, right? Tielemans from Leicester. I don't see. The thing is, Leicester's really good with business, right? They won't let Tielemans go, a crucial player for them. They will not let Tielemans go for less than 75, Steve. If I'm them.
No, you're tripping. You're absolutely tripping.
They sold Ben Chilwell for 55, dude.
Yeah, he'd go for 40. He'd go for 40.
How? How? No, no,
I
no.
don't want to
What-
get into this again, like we did with Ndidi, but like 75 for Yuri Tielemans. Are you
No,
crazy?
that you are missing my point, Steve.
You're saying
I'm
it's
not
because
saying-
it's Leicester. Yeah, but no one's going to buy it. So they can list them for as much as they want, but no one's going to pay that.
unless
Number one.
you're
And
Man
number
United
two,
or Chelsea, who literally just did. They paid 85 million for Maguire, 10 million more than Van Dijk. Chelsea paid 55 million, 55 million for these clubs, these little clubs, these Crystal Palaces, these Leicesters. They know how to finesse the larger clubs, Steve, because they know they will pay for it and they have the money to. It's different for a Liverpool. It's very different for Liverpool. So in that sense, I'll agree with you. Michael Edwards would look at that 75 million and would say, absolutely not. You're smoking crack. Would talk it down to 40, yes. But what I'm saying is, Yuri Tielemans not only produces for Leicester, but is week in, week out, a starter in that midfield, a very good staple in that midfield. They value him at least 75. I'm telling you, they value him at that.
well, he's not going to go anywhere because he wants to play. And if he comes to Liverpool, he's not going to play.
And no, and my point, a lot of people are saying this, he isn't worth more than 40 mil. Fair, he isn't worth it. But there's a difference between worth and value. Leicester value him at extremely high numbers. And then another thing I do want to bring in, we talked a little bit about Konate, right? We talked about Konate coming in. It's great. It's good. We got this quality 22-year-old, just animal of a center back. Quality. Really is quality when he's healthy. Ben Davies, Steve. Ben Davies. We forgot about Ben Davies. Look, Ben Davies, I think Ben Davies and Tsimikas, I feel like these guys will find their place in our squad next season.
They're not going to play. Doesn't matter.
Not all the time, but I think they will find themselves in the squad at least.
Yeah. No, they'll play some cup games maybe, but like our starting 11, maybe Jota and like, a combination of like Konate, Gomez, Matip, whatever, is cemented.
Yes, it is.
Like, if you're going to put your best 11 out there, those guys just aren't in it. So,
yeah, and I'm just talking more for like rotational purposes. When you go into those cup games, like you were saying, I just feel like Konate is one of those guys that maybe if he does well enough, he can find himself into that rotation up there with Matip, Gomez, Van Dijk.
Yeah,
like,
Konate can make his way in. I mean, like we just spent a good chunk for him, but like Tsimikas, he's not worth anything.
No, he's
Williams,
not. We needed that backup for Robertson, dude. Robertson
we did.
played every
but
game.
I'm saying he doesn't deserve to play. He doesn't deserve to play.
I haven't seen anything great so far, but he seems like he's a workhorse like Robertson. Robertson played every game in the Premier League, guys. 38 out of 38 games. Can we just give a round of applause for our guy Robertson? Like, seriously, unbelievable. What an absolute machine. And guys, we got 141 people in here. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel. We appreciate all you guys in here. That's crazy. 150 now. Fantastic. What's going on, everyone? Let's go over to the chat. Let's go over to the chat. All right. No logs here. I look at goals and assists. Oh, I'm not. What is MF? Am I missing something here? Midfield. Good Lord. To be worth big money. Tielemans has it, but Steve is right. He won't play at Liverpool. I don't think Tielemans is leaving Leicester. I really don't. But when we're linked with these players, obviously, like for example, Keita was linked with Leicester. They're obviously looking at who's going to leave the midfield to come over here. The only one who has the quality to play at Liverpool is probably Tielemans. So it's probably why they did that. Let's go over here. Jan Hanna here talking about Gravenbach from Ajax. Look,
everybody wants anybody that's good, anybody that's hot. Everybody wants him. He's not going to play.
It's not a question of like these guys are hot young talents. We get it, but they're not going to play at Liverpool.
No, they're going to come over here and waste away for 5 years.
Like, look at Grujic, dude. Grujic is just wasted talent.
Yeah, I want there's a lot of players I want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want Nick Pope to back up Allison.
What?
He's not going to play. It's just an example.
I know,
there's a lot of players that I want.
Yeah, and another thing, everyone talking about Basuma. Apparently, we're not in for Basuma. These are the reports I'm saying. Like, we were never interested in Basuma. I don't know. I feel like that's a James Pierce report where James Pierce comes out and just flat out denies it. Like, he did that with Thiago. He came out and he was like, we're not interested in Thiago. Like, I don't know why he does that, because James Pierce, like, he's accurate. Don't get me wrong, but like, he'll do that. He'll come out and say, we're not interested in this player. And then the player signs. And it's like, oh, James, what are you doing, man? What are you doing?
Yeah, James is, I don't know what his deal is. Somebody did just say in the chat here, we need a goal-scoring midfielder. I agree. And then someone also said backup for Trent Alexander-Arnold. That is something that I would emphasize.
Okay. Very good point. Let's chat about that for a second.
Okay, goals from midfield, I would like to see that. Don't ask me who, because I don't know. Coutinho? No, I'm just kidding. Anyways.
Shut up. Shut up.
Like, you just look at City, like Gundogan, like De Bruyne, like these guys score. Bruno Fernandes, like, say what you want, but they score from midfield. We struggle to score goals this year. If our front three is out of form and Jota's hurt, we have no goals. We cannot score goals.
Yeah, we really
It's crazy. However, backup for Trent.
Nico Williams?
He's okay. I wouldn't feel confident with him back there.
He's very young. He's very raw. Like, he's, you know, I don't think he can do the defensive job that Trent can. He can whip in crosses. We've seen it. But you're right. I don't feel necessarily very confident with him covering for Trent in the instance that Trent got injured.
Yeah, like, I don't have anybody in mind either. Like, I'm not scouting right backs around Europe. Like,
right.
That's just. But it would be nice to have someone that's maybe like a veteran to back up Trent.
Like James Milner?
Someone of that caliber, sure.
Jimmy.
I don't know who, but like, who's a right back that's veteran? I don't know.
The thing,
Klein?
Dude,
Bring Nathaniel Klein back.
Klein, good Lord. No, I mean, like, I'm really trying to think. Like, you don't really have veteran right backs. Like, who? Like, what we brought in, Glenn Johnson at the end of his career, and then that was before the Klein purchase. It's like, who do we have back there? Do we have anyone out on loan that plays right back? I don't think we do. You know, Matty Cash from Villa. I don't know. I mean, it's just there's clearly guys we can bring in, but it's like Trent. When Trent is healthy, Trent is playing. And then whenever Trent gets subbed off, you do see Klopp play Nico Williams. I think that's because purely of a lack of cover. But Klopp is giving these young guys opportunities. Like, Trent came in for Klein when Klein was injured and then completely overtook the position. Trent is starting at right back now, considered one of the best right backs in the world, if not the best right back in the world. Most productive anyway. So now you see Nico Williams behind him. I feel like Klopp might be happy with Nico Williams. Like, I feel like he doesn't need to buy anyone else.
No, he doesn't. And, you know, people are saying Gomez can play there. He can. He's not very good there.
Yeah, Gomez.
Let us not forget, he's not very good. Fabinho can play there. He played there years ago. Milner can fill in there. Nico Williams. I don't know if I'm missing anybody else. Like, we have cover there.
Konate can. I mean, he has, but Konate is center back.
Yeah, and if you want to poke holes in our squad, like, that's one hole you could poke.
Yeah. A
solidified starting caliber right back to back up Trent, like an actual right back or right wing back. We don't have that.
Genie Houdini, shout out for the super chat. Really appreciate it, guys. Do you believe we are in for a midfielder? Some reports say we aren't. And how big of a loss do you think Genie is? Let's just touch on Genie. Genie is a huge loss for this squad. And just so everyone understands, maybe he didn't produce statistically like assists and goals. But this man, I feel like people don't realize we're losing someone who's always available, one, and someone who's just a flat-out workhorse, Steve.
Yeah.
Dude put in a shift every game.
He's a certain type of player. There aren't many like him.
Yeah.
It's a big loss to the squad. I don't think it necessarily makes us like worse.
I get it, yeah.
You know? But it removes a guy that's gonna always be available and put in a shift and do what he's asked.
Yes.
He can score goals. It takes a special type of person to play your role, to listen to the manager and sit back and, you know, do a thankless job. That's a thankless job, that those hard yards in the midfield.
And then
he goes and plays for Netherlands and he scores a hat trick. Or whatever it is.
Ripped apart by it's like 50-50 with Liverpool fans. He was getting ripped apart. There are Liverpool fans that hate Gini Wijnaldum, and I don't understand how you could have hated Gini Wijnaldum. How do you, with the injuries that we endured this season, how can you hate someone who's always available? I just won't get it. Why?
Because if somebody gets linked away from the club, everyone's crying and whining.
I don't understand.
It's just the way it is.
The
way it is, man.
I just don't understand. Ryan asking, do you think we need a striker? Yeah, I think we need another forward.
Suarez.
We need who? Suarez? Oh, yeah, Steve. Steve's on the Suarez train.
You know how I feel. Suarez.
I know how you feel.
He's worth nothing. We can buy him for nothing.
Yeah. Well, another thing, we were linked with Max Aarons. Okay, someone did bring that up. Didn't we have a bid rejected for Max Aarons? Or was that no, it was the left back. It was the guy who went to Newcastle. Can't remember his name right now. Lewis? Jamal? Is it Jamal? I don't know who it was, but bid rejected for him.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got. Jason Chadburn talking about the money. We have a TV deal coming, third in the Premier League. Look, we have money coming in. Don't get me wrong. We also, and like I mentioned before, we have the Redbird Capital Investment. We're not short on funds, guys. But you also got to remember, we got the Anfield Road stand expanding. And I don't know. I just feel like we're going to bring in players. Just be patient. Like, I feel like sometimes people are just never satisfied with who we get. Like, Jota, Thiago, Konate, just to name a few players that we've brought in recently. And then you look at the assembly line, Curtis Jones, Nico Williams, Harvey Elliott. Like, what do people want? I feel like people only want Haaland and Mbappe. Like, if we don't get these players, it's a failed transfer window. And it's like, that couldn't be further from the truth.
I think Mbappe could legitimately come.
I
actually think he could come, and I think he would also be okay with not making $500K a week. He doesn't strike me as that type of guy.
Yeah.
Like, look, there's something to be said for like doing your job and making a ton of money. There's also something to be said for like playing at Liverpool and like playing at a club that's passionate,
right?
For a great manager that you know isn't going to get fired.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, PSG doesn't know who their manager is going to be.
No,
and people coming and going. It's crazy.
It's insane.
And there's no competition week to week.
No.
You don't even know the names of the guys you're playing every Saturday, every Sunday. He doesn't even know who's lining up across the pitch.
Yeah.
That league is terrible. Come to the Premier League.
I mean, when you compare it to the top 5 leagues, it's bad. But
he's not going to be a sellout. He's not going to be a sellout. I'm telling you.
He doesn't seem like a sellout. It's
possible.
He doesn't seem like one. Yeah.
No, it's possible for him to come here. Haaland, I don't see that happening.
No, Haaland's not coming here. I'm sorry. He's just not. Don Johnson agrees with you, Steve. Talking about Suarez all day for me. He's proven in the Premier League and would guarantee goals for a steal. Easily get 2 good years out of him. I get the idea of bringing 100%. In Suarez. I do get it. Like bringing Suarez back. Why? I just don't know. Like, I don't know. I need to get over my stubbornness for this. You know what I mean? Like, he was I almost said it. Like, I mean, I just feel like he wanted bigger and better things. He didn't appreciate Liverpool when he was here, but when he left, he was like showing his love for the club. Like, if you really love the club that much, why didn't you just stay? Like,
it's a lot. Well, dude, it's a lot different. This was 7 years ago.
I know. It was completely different.
Klopp wasn't here.
Yes,
I get it. The club wasn't as big.
We hadn't won 4 trophies on the bounce. Like, I get it.
Look, he's at the end of his career too. Like, these guys, like, he was in his prime. He was the best striker in the world.
God, he was something serious.
And he's probably the best striker of the decade.
He's really good. He is
like that
really
man
good.
Has done it in Europe. He's done it in domestically.
Yes.
In England, in Spain. He's always there. He's a certain breed of player you don't see very often. He's an aggressive striker, and he's going to get you goals. He's going to get you 20 goals a season if he's healthy in all comps. And he'll get you 12 in the Premier League.
The more we talk about it, the more I get like, we could bring him in and he could do a job. But I do also agree with Alicio George or Jorge here saying no way Klopp is buying a 34-year-old. I mean,
well, what do you consider buying? Like, what's buying? He got sold for $7 million US dollars last year. So if we could get him for that, that's practically for free.
Yeah, and he does 100% fit that center forward role. And I mean, look, I'm getting ahead of myself here, but what I want everyone to understand is that I feel like it's gonna be a better transfer window than most people think. I do think we have a lot more funds than people realize. People think that people always go into it with a negative mindset. Like if we don't do what Chelsea did, right? Chelsea buying literally all the big names, playing FIFA career mode, Havertz, Timo Werner, getting Thiago Silva on a free, buying Ben Chilwell. Like, you know what I mean? Like, who else did they bring in? They brought in some other Christian Pulisic. Like
Ziyech.
Thank you. Ziyech.
Chilwell.
Chilwell, yeah.
Look, another thing to add to that, Chelsea, they spent all that money. They won the Champions League, but not because of the players that they spent the money on. So shout out to the manager.
Thomas Tuchel, yes.
Yep. Shout out to guys like Mason Mount, guys like Rudiger. I thought Chilwell was solid. Shout out to Mendy. Conte, of course.
Oh, who doesn't love Conte?
Those other midfielders that get no credit, Kovacic, Jorginho, those are thankless jobs. It is what it is. Jorginho stepping up when called upon.
Yeah.
But it was not because of any of the guys they bought.
I know, but
Thiago Silva was solid, but he was a free, I believe.
He was. And my point being is that they invested in their squad very heavily, hundreds of millions of pounds. Okay. And when you look at Liverpool are more thrifty. And I feel like people get upset when we don't spend like these other clubs. And it's like, we've had success without doing it. So just be patient. Trust Klopp, trust Edwards, trust the scouting department, trust them because they've led us to success. Bringing in players that aren't necessarily over the top. Like, I honestly feel like the only two, it's Alisson and Van Dijk. Those are like the only two players that you brought in where like these guys are world-class already. When we brought in Mane and Salah, they were not world-class. They were great players, but no one thought they were world-class. Okay, Thiago as well. Bringing in Thiago, that was good. I feel like we're at a point now where we can attract the right players, but we still have good players in the squad to where we can keep the success going. That's what I wanted to say. But first off, I just want to thank everyone because 200 people in the chat, that's great. We haven't had 200 people in the chat in a long, long time. So thank you. Shout out to everyone. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Give the video a thumbs up. Every Sunday we're here, 9 a.m., chatting about the Reds. It's good stuff. We have good chats, good people in the comment section. It's great. Steve, look, any last-minute comments, bro, on Konate, on Suarez, on Keita?
No, not on Keita. I got nothing. I've already said everything. I've emptied the bag of tricks, the bag of comments for Keita.
Yeah.
Suarez, would love to see him back. I think he is the perfect signing. If I could pick one that is actually could happen for a striker, it would be him.
I feel like it's monetarily a great buy if we were to get him.
5 million, 10 max, maybe, not even, probably. And bring him in 2 years. Or if he's garbage, 1 year, his contract's over, see you later. There's no risk. There's no risk involved.
Yeah.
He's going to at least produce. We spent $7 million on Minamino, and he did nothing.
But that's the thing. We got these guys coming back. Minamino could be part of the plans. We don't know.
He's not going to do more than Suarez. Like, no one in their right mind is going to say Shaqiri, Origi, Ox, Keita, Minamino combined are going to score more goals than Suarez will do in the league alone, only playing 25 games.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those debates we can have. Do you go for young guys or do you go for proven veterans that can come in and back up the current guys that we have in the squad? And that's the debate, especially with the forwards. Look at Suarez, Patson Daka, the guy we've been linked with forever. All these other guys were linked with, Milo Rashica, all these like forwards that we're linked with. I really, from what I've seen, Jonathan IKone might be the guy that we're like linked with the most heavily at the moment. I haven't heard anything further about us bringing anyone specific in. But Konate is the guy we're bringing in. Trust Klopp. Trust everyone, man. Like, just trust the team to do what they do best and bring in players. Man, Steve, I appreciate you being here as we took over the hotel. Yeah, absolutely.
Guess how many goals Suarez had in the league this year?
20?
21.
That's really good.
He wouldn't get that in the Premier League. I'm not saying that.
No, but that was good.
He finished 4th in the league. They said he was done. They said he was washed up. He just scored 21 goals.
Yeah, and just to, we'll close in on this. RGA Day, I believe, is just asking who is next according to your sources. Like I said, we're being linked with several players at the moment. I did see reports saying that we're not in for Basuma. We also saw reports about most players that we bring in, we see reports saying we're not linked with them. So there's that. But Jonathan IKone right now is the one at the top of the list that we're linked with him. Shaqiri might go the other way to Lille. But we do need an attacker. I think an attacker will be the next person we bring in. That's just my opinion. But Steve, man, I appreciate you being here, bro. I think it was a good show.
Real. I'm here every Sunday, so
I know
you don't
you're
have to thank me.
Okay. Hey, look,
appreciate everyone being in the chat, though.
I'm just trying to be nice to you.
You don't need to be nice to me. I don't deserve it.
Noted.
I don't deserve it.
Noted. Shout out to everyone in the chat, leaving your thoughts throughout. Great show today. And we're looking forward to a good transfer window, Steve. I think we'll have a lot of success. And I'm just looking forward to next season, man. Happy Chelsea won. Thank God. Man City still 0 Champions League. I mean, it's awesome. It's a good feeling. I like it. I'd rather Chelsea win.
Yeah, we can get into that again. Shout out to Blake. Yes, I do want Suarez. I know you're being sarcastic. And shout out to everyone that joined us today. We'll see you guys next week.
All right, Reds. Until next week, take